Hey y'all! So today I kind of wanted to do a video just briefly discussing my writing / my Camp NaNoWriMo plans. For those of you who don't know, I participated in NaNoWriMo for the first time back in November and I didn't win. I ended up writing about 23,000 words, so I got about halfway through the word count. But I am a full-time student and I have 2 part-time jobs on campus, and that's on top of doing my blogging, which I was doing at the time. I wasn't doing YouTube yet. So I just had a really crazy schedule on top of all of my classes, and so I am still fairly proud of getting that many words in 1 month. And since NaNoWriMo ended up being a really big help for me in my writing, I decided that I was going to go ahead and participate in Camp NaNoWriMo both in April and in July. As of right now, I have set my word count goal for April at 15,000 words. For me, I feel like this is fairly doable because my April is going to be really busy, and I feel like 500 words is a very reasonable goal for each day. However, my plan in July is to go for the full NaNoWriMo word count goal of 50,000 words, because I will be working a full-time job, but I will have literally all of my time when I'm not working to write. I will be completely free. I will not have any other work I have to do. I can just devote all of my time to writing. I mean, I won't devote all of my time to writing because I will need to have my downtime and my entertainment. However, I will be able to devote as much time to writing as humanly possible. And I am super excited about both of these, and I have already been preparing for the April Camp NaNoWriMo for about 2 weeks now. For both April and for July, I will be working on the same novel that I worked on in NaNoWriMo in November. Just because some people have shown some sort of interest in my writing, I will talk briefly about the book. However, I don't want to go into too much detail because if you've seen any of Kat from Katie Tastic's videos about NaNoWriMo, you might have seen that some people, some of her subscribers, tried to write some of her novels for NaNoWriMo, or were taking her ideas and trying to make them her own. And I am absolutely terrified of that happening to me because I've been working on this novel for many, many, many years, and it's very special to me, and I really, really want to become a published author at some point. And this is the one novel that has stuck with me for a really long time and that's really special to me. So I don't want to risk anything like what happened to Kat happening to me. I'm going on my Camp NaNoWriMo page right now to look at my novel summary. I'm kind of starting to think that maybe it might be a little bit more detailed than I want it to be. So I'm going to check and make sure that it's not more detailed than I anticipated. So after looking at my Camp NaNoWriMo page, I decided that the synopsis that I had written was a little bit too detailed for what I wanted to put on the internet, so I will basically just talk about some of the elements that my story has in it. The working title that I have had for this book for several years now is Braving the Elements. Braving the Elements is a young adult fantasy novel which mostly takes place on Earth, but some of the book does take place in an alternate world. There is one primary main character in the novel, however, it is written in 3 points of view. The reader gets to see from both the main character and the secondary main character's point of view, as well as from the villain's point of view on occasion. The main character of Braving the Elements is named Faith. Faith has lived in the same house in Colorado her entire life. It's where she's grown up, she's homeschooled, she's very introverted, and that's kind of the only experience of the world that she has. When she is almost 18, her dad decides to move their family to a big city in Texas. It is in Dallas when Faith meets Lindsay, who is the other protagonist whose point of view the reader gets to see from. Lindsay is very laid back. She's really smart. She actually graduated high school a year early and is already in college, and she and Faith really hit it off and become friends very quickly. And Faith's family moving to Texas sets off the chain of events that kind of get the plot rolling in the novel. I'm having trouble because I really want to go in more detail about the book, but I also, like I said, I don't want to have a situation like Kat had. Yeah. Let's see some aspects that it involves. Like I said, there's an alternate world. Clairvoyance features fairly heavily in the novel. There are characters who are clairvoyant, and that does play a fairly large role. The villain's main motive is revenge. She does not like the way that people treated her when she was younger because of some situations that she was in, and so she basically just, all of her anger comes from wanting to get revenge on these people that she feels wronged her. So yeah, I think that's about as far as I'm gonna go with explaining the premise of the book. I don't want to go really into any detail past this because, like I said, I don't want to have any sort of experiences like Kat was subjected to. So what I've been doing over the past couple weeks is both outlining and kind of working on the characters' personalities. Because I've been working on this for such a long time, I was kind of under the impression that I understood all of the important characters. Like, I knew their personalities and how they would react to things, and I had them fairly solidified. And then as I started working on the story more and I started getting more into like the actual writing of the story, I realized that there were like 3 characters who I actually knew really well. And the rest of them are kind of up in the air. Like, for example, the main character Faith, I have her down to a T. I have written from her point of view for so long, and I have figured out her personality so in detail, and like I completely understand the way that her mind works and the way that she sees the world. I also feel like I have a really good grasp on the villain and her motivations and her personality as well. However, there are 2 fairly major characters who play a really important role in the book. And I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, realized that I didn't fully know what their personalities were. There are some character traits that I 100% knew that they had. Like, one character is very easily angered. Like, one small thing will set her off. And then I realized that other than that, I totally had no idea what the rest of her personality was. And that's partially because when I wrote the original, like, first rough draft back in 8th grade, I didn't go very in detail into her personality. I just focused on the fact that she was a very easily angered person, and that was all that I focused on. And so now I have to kind of go back and be like, how do I make her a real person? How do I translate this personality from a character into an actual living, breathing human being with thoughts and emotions? And so yeah, that's been the biggest struggle lately because I didn't know that that problem existed until I actually went in and tried to do like Myers-Briggs personality types and the Big 5 personality types for most of the characters. Because like I said, Faith was really easy. I blew through both of those for her. I was like, I understand this, I got it, as well as for the secondary main character whose point of view the reader gets to see from. But then I got to 2 of the other really important characters, and I realized that I only knew for sure maybe 1 or 2 traits for each of them, and that was it. I think it's partially because I've written the beginning of the book so much that I understand those characters more, and that the characters that show up a little bit later in the book are a little bit more ambiguous because I haven't really written about them that much. So like I said, I've been mostly working on character personalities and working on my outlining, and for my outlining I've been using this workbook which is called Outlining Your Novel Workbook by K.M. Wayland. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Basically, last week I was just looking for writing craft books because I only have one and it's at home, and I was kind of trying to figure out what writing craft books might be really helpful in like outlining, and I came across this one, and like it says, it's like a workbook, and it walks you through like questions to ask yourself about the plot and how to concoct like the 2-sentence description of your novel. And so far this has been really helpful. I've been a little slow getting through this because I've been really busy the past couple days, but I'm hoping to get a little bit more work done on this before I actually get into Camp NaNoWriMo. Also, there is a book that goes along with it that's like a normal book rather than a workbook, and it's called Outlining Your Novel, Map Your Way to Success. I have not given this a look yet because I was just looking at the workbook to kind of work my way through it. However, I do plan on checking this out very soon. Another thing I've been doing a lot in preparation for Camp NaNoWriMo is that I discovered that there are a lot of Brandon Sanderson lectures on YouTube. Brandon Sanderson, if you don't know who he is a fantasy sci-fi author, and he is known for these like amazing, huge, complex books, worlds, magic systems. Like, I have not read any of his books yet, but I am going to soon because I've just heard so many wonderful things about his books, and it sounds like his books are just so genius, and I want to be able to say that I think his books are genius rather than just saying everyone says his books are genius. Anyway, on point, he is kind of an adjunct professor at BYU, and the English department there has uploaded several of his lectures for one of his classes on their YouTube channel. These lectures are about, I think, a year old, and it's basically like every single lecture that he gave in this class. So it's like taking a class from Brandon Sanderson for free. And the way that he teaches the class is really interesting to me, and it's really helpful, and I think that he's a really interesting dude. And again, like I said, I can't wait to get to his novels because his class is really great. I love watching his lectures. Like, I am willingly watching a lecture in a college class because Brandon Sanderson's lectures are that interesting. Like, half the time I can't even pay attention to the lectures that I'm paying to be in, but I will definitely watch a free lecture from Brandon Sanderson on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to check those out, I believe the YouTube channel is BYU English. Like I said, it has like all of his lectures. I think there are 14 of them. Like, I think it was like a 14-week class, and there was one class week. And I've watched 3 of them so far. They're like an hour and 15 minutes long a piece. And so far, I'm loving it. It's so great. He gives so many, like, he gives so much information about how to start writing your novel, like how to outline, whether you should outline, stuff like that. It's just, it's great so far. So yeah, I know this video was kind of random, but like I said, I have gotten some interest in like what type of books I write, what I'm working on, and since I am doing Camp NaNoWriMo in about a week, I decided that it would be a good opportunity to just kind of tell you guys about my writing and about what I'm working on right now and my plans for Camp NaNoWriMo and how I outline. Yeah. As always, I will leave a link down in the description to my blog and to my Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Also, I have added my Twitter onto my YouTube page. It was just my normal Twitter account, but I never really use it, and I figured that I might as well use it for my BookTube channel. Yeah, I just decided to go ahead and link that on there. If you want to check it out, it's fine. I might do some NaNoWriMo updates on there, I guess. So yeah, if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!